is Becca from Becca's Music Room. I'm a teacher blogger who talks about teacher tips, teacher life, teacherpreneurs, and all things that might hopefully help your life be just a little bit easier. Today we're back with another video all about blogging. I hope I get these videos out in the correct order, because if this is the first one that goes up, that's going to be very, very awkward. We've been talking in all of these videos about lots of different aspects of blogging, like how to blog more consistently, how to blog efficiently so that you sit down and actually get them done. Today we're going to talk specifically about making your writing a little bit better. Now, I'm not a writing teacher. I'm not going to go super in depth into anything because frankly, I only know what I learned in AP Lit, language, I don't know, whatever class I took in high school, and then I took one in college, and I always did well with writing. I enjoy writing. It's actually something that I like to do and something I knew from the beginning that I wanted to do. Even as a little kid, I was like, I want to write books. And my aspirations have changed a little bit with how that's going to play out. But a big piece of that has been blogging. So I may not have the best writing style, but I do want to talk a little bit about how to make your writing sound a little bit better. If you know anyone who needs this, make sure that you send it to them and like, subscribe, and share so that you don't miss anything that comes out to help you with your TPT shop and blog as well. All right, some of these tips are going to be very specific, and some of them are going to be a little more general. Number one, very specific. Vary your sentence length or your paragraph length. So what I mean by that is that good writers sometimes have short sentences and sometimes have long sentences. Try to mix them up. You don't want to have the same kind of sentence over and over and over and over again, because it's just very boring and it sounds kind of like a first grade paper where it's like, I like cats, I like dogs, I like shoes. You don't want that. That's no fun. So make, I like cats. I also like dogs and I like giraffes, and one time I went to the blah 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 blah, whatever. But try to do some that are shorter, some that are longer. It doesn't have to be like a magic formula, just vary the length so that some things will sound better. That also works with paragraphs. If you look through any of my blog posts, you will see that, well, first of all, I blog the way that I talk, and secondly, that sometimes I have paragraphs that are 5 or 6 sentences, and then I'll have like one sentence. Don't tell my high school English teachers who said that you can't have a 1-sentence paragraph, because that's not true. But just vary the sentence length and vary your paragraphs as well, and that'll make it much more interesting for the reader, and also just visually easier to read because it's not all the same across. Number 2, have consistency in your sequencing. So if you're talking about, let's see, pink, yellow, and green. I don't know why you'd be talking about that, but if you were, then every time you list those things, list them as pink, yellow, or green. Pink, yellow, green. Like, I like the colors pink, yellow, green. Do you like the colors pink, yellow, and green? Make them in the same order. That sounds like the weirdest thing ever, but it's so important. If you have, especially a blog post where you have multiple headings that have different things on them, so you have maybe 3 different points, make sure every time you talk about them, you talk about in that order. So at the beginning, when you're talking about them, say we're going to talk about 1, 2, and 3, and then at the end we talked about 1, 2, and 3, or you can even flip it that time, do 3, 2, and 1. But don't change the order of the points that you have in your thing. So like if I was going to recap all the things in my video, then I would still go through and say them in the same order that I said them in the video. That makes you seem more organized. It makes the people who are reading, it like helps them organize their thoughts, your thoughts in their brain, because it's just more consistent. Number 3 is make lots of headings or lists or pictures or different things to break up the text. Unfortunately, our society is not super big on reading at the moment. I actually am reading a book called $1 Million Habits, and it's talking all about both money but also mindset and habits that people who are millionaires do. And it was talking about how millionaires read books, like that is one of their big habits. But the average American reads, wait for it, less than 1 book per year. Like, not even 1 book in a year. That is ridiculous, people. First of all, let's just say that is ridiculous. Secondly, if you think about the consequences of that in terms of blogging, people are not reading, as many large chunks of text. They're reading a lot more, you know, Instagram scrolls or whatever pops up on the TV during commercials, those kind of things. So when you are making your blog, you want to break up your text with things like pictures, things like headings, lots of different paragraphs, so that it's easier for people to read. If people click on your link and they just see like words, they might even just click out there. Like they might not even try to read it because it might intimidate them. So if you look at my blog posts, I always break them up with a couple different pictures, a couple different headings. I try to put as many headings as I can so that even if people just pull up the blog post on their phone and they just kind of slide through and they skim and they get the main important parts, like that's technically reading, right? I don't know. But make sure that you put those things in there because it's going to make it easier for people to read, better for them to understand and organize, and more likely that they're not just going to like click out without bothering to read it. Number 4, the thing that I am very, very terrible at, make sure that you edit. This should go without saying, but make sure you edit. There is nothing worse than being on a teacher blog and seeing things spelled incorrectly. Now, if you've read any of my blog posts, you're probably like, Becca, you have things spelled incorrectly all the time, which is probably true because I'm just one of the people that I'm like just typing so fast, my fingers can't keep up with my brain. And so I just miss things like that. I promise I'm not stupid. I just don't always spell things right because I'm going too quickly. So I try to discipline myself and go back and edit every single time. Make sure you do the same thing. To help you with editing, there are actually some very useful things, which leads me to number 5, use technology to your advantage. There's a website called Grammarly that I have actually never used, but I've heard a lot of other people talking about it and how awesome it is. And basically, you copy and paste your text into Grammarly's website and they will like edit it for you. You could also have someone else edit it for you, like print it out and give it to your mom. That's what I used to do with all my papers in high school because she is much better at that, but still. Also, while we're on the topic of things that are useful for technology, I have a plugin that is free, because we like free, especially here at Becca's Music Room, we really like free. I have a plugin that's called Yoast SEO, and it's a WordPress plugin, and it is the bomb. It does not edit for you, but it does help you with all those SEO things, because when I first started, I was like, what the heck is SEO? Like, I don't know. I still don't 100% understand it, but it's basically a plugin and it like shows up at the bottom of your WordPress page and it tells you if there is like things wrong with your writing. There's like a writing one and then also like a keyword one, and you can like flip back and forth. So it'll tell me in there if I have written 4 sentences that all start with the same word, because for some reason it really hates that and I seem to really like it, and that is a big problem for me. It'll also tell me if some of my paragraphs are too big, or if I need more headings, or if I need more pictures. All those things, it will tell me, and it's free. Like, go get it. It's Yoast SEO, and it's just like a WordPress plugin. Just go to like the plugins page and type that in, download it, and then it's just like magically there. I actually got this plugin right when I started blogging, so I thought it was just like there. I didn't realize it was a plugin until a lot later, but that's okay. So make sure you use technology to your advantage. If you know of any other ones that can help you out, please, please, please leave them down below, because I'm always looking for things that can help me get better as well. Number 6 is probably the most important thing on this list, and that is to read, 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 and also write. But read is so important. You're not gonna get better at writing if you are not reading. You probably tell that to your students. Like, you're not gonna get better at writing if you're not reading, because you learn so much by reading. Even if you're just reading like fiction books for fun, you absorb things like sentence lengths and paragraphs and just all these things that you don't really analyze as you're reading, but go into making a huge, huge difference throughout. So the more you read, the better you will write. Also, the more you write, the better you will write. So if you want to get better at blogging, you know what you should do? You should write and you should blog. Maybe start keeping a journal. Maybe you just blog a bunch. Maybe you even like have a page on your blog where you're just talking about random things that no one cares about, but you never post it. You just have it so that you can practice a little bit extra. I have found that the more that I blog, the better I am at it, because practice makes better, right? If you are looking for something to read so that you can do that, I actually have a video about all of my book recommendations recently. It's the start of a series that I just started this summer, and I'm very excited about because I love to read and we want more people who are millionaires, so we need more people reading. So I would like you to make sure you go over there and check that out. If you have any tips for how to make your writing better, especially if you're like an English teacher, please leave them down below in the comments, because I would like to improve myself as well as you improving yourselves. If you found this video interesting, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.